Does this happen when you flush your toilet? Let's get this fixed. All right, so for this particular job, which should not take forever, hopefully, you'll need, I use tin snips because I want to get my old zip ties out of the toilet, out of the toilet tank. And then I want to also obviously cut the zip ties when I'm done. And then, or you could use scissors. Scissors will work too. I like the tin snips a little bit better. And then just some basic zip ties. These are cable ties. And they're kind of the thick ones. You can get, these aren't, I guess these are like medium size. You can actually get ones that are smaller than this, a little bit more narrow. But I thought that the more narrow ones would not be as strong, and these fit nicely inside the toilet tank, and you'll see in a minute where that goes. Okay, so let's get to work. Let's take a look on the inside, and hopefully you'll be able to get this fixed in no time at all. All right, so we've been having a problem with this particular toilet. This is a Kohler, and the issue is when you flush it, I have a piece of electrical wiring here holding up my flush valve. When you flush it, this fill valve will begin to pop out of where it needs to go down here. It should be filling up the canister there, but what has been happening is this pops out and then just shoots water into the tank. And when that happens, your bowl doesn't fill up with enough water for the next flush. So what I did a few years ago was add on some zip ties here. And I'm going to show you how I did that. This zip tie fix is good for about 3 to 4 years before the zip ties start drying out, breaking, and then you have to do the whole process again. All right, so let's get this little issue fixed right now. All right, I realize this is a little difficult to see, but I'll do my best here, showing you what I've done. So I need to remove the old zip ties. So here's one here. I'm just going to take my wire clippers, take that one off. Okay, so there's the old one. That was actually still in good shape. I had to clip it off. And there's another one right here. You need to clip that off as well. I could leave this zip tie on because it's still in good shape, but I have an idea that it's coming to the end of its life. So let's get a whole new set on here. So there was that one. That one didn't want to come off very easily. The zip tie that's broken is actually in the toilet tank, way down there. That's the one that broke. And I'll have to fish that one out. And there's another one actually in there. So what I had done about a year ago, one of my zip ties had broken, so I just replaced the one zip tie, and that's the one down in there. So another zip tie broke just the other day, so that one's over there. So I thought that I would go out and get a whole pack of zip ties, and I'll replace all of them, because when one goes, you should expect the other ones are going to start to dry out as well. All right, so let me get the zip ties open here, and we'll get to work. All right, let me explain what I'm going to do here. You're going to need 3 zip ties to do this. So this needs to go in here. All right, that's where the feed needs to go. I'm going to put a zip tie around here. Then I will put a second zip tie around up here. Make them, don't pull them too tight when you first put them on. And then my third zip tie, it will connect the top one to the bottom one. And I know it seems like that shouldn't actually work, but that has worked, and it has lasted for a few years. The reason why I'm replacing them is because the zip ties themselves actually begin to break. Okay, they become brittle and they just kind of break. In this environment, I guess the environment inside of a toilet tank is not conducive to a long life for a zip tie. If they didn't break, this would last forever. But as you saw, what was happening is when we flushed the toilet, this valve pops up and starts shooting water everywhere, just sprays everywhere. Inside the tank, of course, and it doesn't fulfill the function that it needs to, which is filling up the bowl. Let's go with our first zip tie. I want to put that around the bottom here. And make sure that this lock piece, see if you can see that, make sure that lock piece is facing out. So we'll put one here. Okay, now I'm not going to tighten it all the way. We'll just make it right about there so that way it stays there, but I have plenty of play with it. Okay. My second zip tie is going up top here. And I'm not really sure if other toilet makers have this exact same setup. I'm sure other makers do, as far as this one being a Kohler. I don't know if American Standard has one like this. I know the American Standard we have in the other bathroom is not like this, so I don't need to do this in there. Okay, so that one, I'll make this one a little bit tighter on the bottom here. All right, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Let's zoom in a little bit here. All right, so at this point I have a zip tie on the bottom piece. I have a zip tie on the feed here. All right, now, okay, so we keep all them kind of loose for the moment. Now this one, this third tie is going to go in here and down to the next one. Okay, and then, all right, so I have that one in there. Now I can start tightening the other two. All right, I know this looks like a real crazy fix for this. Let me just say this. If you guys have something different that you do, share the link down below. I wouldn't mind finding out a different way to do this myself, actually. You know, some other sort of way. Thought maybe tape on here, like putting some sort of tape between this top and bottom part would work, but I thought, well, all the moisture is going to eat away. All right, so now let's just kind of put that third tie. All right, if you see what I'm doing there, that third tie, now I'm going to go ahead and connect it. And I actually started making one of these videos years ago when I first did this, but I didn't think it was actually going to hold, so I didn't finish the video. Turns out it actually held pretty well, but I had deleted all of it. Also, okay, so you don't want to pull this one too tight. I think I'm just about as tight as I want to be on that one. These other guys, though, you want to do, okay, the top one's nice and tight. The bottom one now gets nice and tight. Okay. And there you go. You know what? I forgot something. I wanted to clean this off here. I did not do that. And even have my soap sitting here on the floor. I did not do that. So, well, if I have to do this again over the next couple years, that will be the time that I clean that off. Got a little sidetracked here with my video. So let's make this nice and I want to make it nice and tight before I cut these things. Because once you cut them, there's no, you know, once you cut the excess off, there's no fixing it. I don't want to pull that one anymore. I think that one's tight enough. So the top one you want to be nice and tight. The bottom one you want to be nice and tight. This one here, don't pull that one too tight. You want it to be snug, but if you pull it too tight, it's going to just pull that down too far. I believe. Anyway, all right, so let's get these cut off. You can use scissors or your tin snips. I like the tin snips because they have a lot of power right on the tip there. Get these other ones here. All right, so at this point I will flush the toilet and I will stop it again because I want to get that, at least get that one piece out from down there in the tank. The one that's down here inside the cylinder, that's been there for a couple years, so I'm not worried about getting that one. I'll get it sooner or later, but I'm not worried about it right now. All right, let's see what happens here when we flush the toilet. All right, so there it is filling up again because I did have it all right, let me just test all this stuff here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's give it a go here. It sounded like it flushed pretty good. That's staying on okay. All right. Okay, so that just finished up the flush. That stayed put. It goes up and down. All that kind of works out pretty well. All right, I'll keep you posted on how this works. But I will say that this, as I've said before, that this particular setup works for a few years until your zip ties dry out and end up breaking. Now, if you get a higher quality zip tie, or if you use a different material here, you know, I don't know what that material would be. It'd be tough to get a twisty in there, a metal twisty. But if you get a different material in there, it might work out for you pretty good, more long term than the plastic does. All right, there you have it. So I'm hoping that works for you. Leave a comment below. Did it work out for you? Did you think of maybe a different material, a different way to secure those two pieces together? If you did, let me know how you did it, because I'm open to finding out a different way to do that. The zip ties have worked pretty well for me in the 2 toilets that I need to do this in, but again, every few years, because the zip ties dry up and break, I need to redo them. And I think from now on, when one breaks, I'm going to go ahead and replace all 3 of them, because that's what happened here. I replaced one, and then a year later, which is where we are right now, another one broke. So I just go ahead and replace all 3 of them at the same time when you do need to replace them. Okay? Thank you again for joining me on today's video. I hope you got something out of this one. Let me know how it goes for you. And again, if you have any other suggestions, put them in the comments below. And do me a favor and give me a like here. And I'd love if you subscribe and come back to Leonard Shop often to see what other little tips I can offer you. All right, guys, have a great day. Take care. Thanks for watching.